Welcome to Behind the Badge with your hosts,
Lieutenant Ryan Williams
and Officer Cammie Vandermolen,
your source for all things Fond du Police.
It's Friday, it's Behind the Badge, our weekly visit with the Fond du Lac Police Department's recruitment and retention specialist.
You nailed it now twice, just on the first try.
No, third time though, I probably got screwed up. Cammie Vandermolen, and she's got a new officer in studio. We'll get to meet him here in just a bit, but last time we had a show, Lieutenant Ryan Williams told us that you recently were the recipient of some sort of an award at some fundraising thing that involved food. Is that right?
That's right. And so if it involves food, I'm all in.
There you go.
I am already planning next year's menu item. So Detective Christina Milan has approached me the last couple years and asked me to help out with the Guys Who Grill event at the Catherine Drexel Homeless Shelter. So it's to raise money out there. And it's basically a friendly competition amongst people who like to grill or smoke or different, foods, that type of thing. So this year I made some, well, they're sort of famous, I would say, around the PD. So I made my jalapeno poppers. Yes, and we won the People's Choice Award, first place.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Very excited about that. I mean, there was a lot of pressure. So we live, being the person who picks the item and then, gets the recipe, and I was rolling them and putting them together. So they're bacon wrapped. I mean, and when you put bacon on anything, right? Yes. So yeah, They were very tasty. They were very good. Everybody liked them.
I can't do anything spicy, so these would not be.
These were not super spicy though. See, what you have to do is you have to take out the seeds, and all that membrane that's in there.
Do you do that?
I do, and then they're just, and I'm not a spicy person either. Like that really, I used to be when I was younger. I liked a lot of spice, but as you get older, these don't always agree. So I was like, you know what? I like these. I can eat these, and they're not too powerful as far as spice. So what I do is I roll them in a little bit of, I bacon wrap them, I stuff cream cheese in them, I bacon wrap them, and I roll them in a mixture of brown sugar and chili powder. So that brown sugar really helps offset that sweetness or that spiciness as well. So yeah, they're delicious.
Wow. And now you said you're already thinking about, now you don't have to, obviously you don't want to give it away because the competition might be listening, but you think you know the direction you're going or some ideas?
I think so. I've got a couple of ideas, and the one that I'm really thinking that I'm leaning towards heavily is going to have, I'm just going to share this little Asian flair.
Okay.
That's pretty much it. That's all I'll say.
Boy, so you're into doing this, and we know from when she came on before her retirement, your twin sister Mickey, she's into baking. So
she is, yes.
Family gatherings with you guys must be just outstanding.
Yes, actually I do the cooking, the savory end of it, and she's always tasked with bringing the desserts, and she never disappoints. Wow. She's amazing, yeah.
Wow, quite the tag team, quite the tag team.
Yes.
Well, speaking of food, I know people are going to be enjoying cheese curds and fish dinners and fish sandwiches.
That's right.
Walleye weekend kicking off tonight. How's the police department involved with that?
So obviously we're out there with a heavy police presence, and we've got all the staffing is all scheduled to be out there, and there will be a command post out there if we have any issues. Obviously, officers, you'll see them on foot, on bike patrol, and UTVs. This year I'm not going to be out there working, unfortunately. I usually try and get out there during the day, but we've got some graduation events and that type of thing this weekend, so I will be unable to get out there and work it. One of the reasons I like working is I like to see all the people.
Sure.
There's a lot going on out there, and enjoy the food.
Food's great.
So maybe on Sunday I might just stop out there as a participant, as a visitor, and not somebody working, just so that I can get my fill of all that yummy food.
You need to.
That's
you
right.
absolutely need to, because you don't want to wait another year for all of it.
No, exactly. I always get
Wait,
the
what do you
walleye.
get?
I was gonna say I always get the walleye. I always get a fish sandwich. I always get cheese curds down by the firefighters. So all good stuff. Good stuff.
It is good stuff. And we got a newbie in studio with us today.
That's right.
Introduce him, please.
So this is our newest officer. This is Caeden Hockers, and we just got done with his first week. So he'll be going to academy for us, and I thought we'd bring him in and just give him a quick intro to all of our listeners.
Absolutely. So Caeden, tell us a little bit about yourself. As one of my favorite questions, where did you grow up, and what was life like for a young Caeden?
Yeah, sure. So I'm from Green Bay, Wisconsin.
There we go. My adopted hometown.
That's awesome. I was born in Green Bay, Wisconsin. I graduated from the De Pere High School area. Had a lot of fun there. I played football. I was in rugby. I was part of show choir. I kind of did everything that you could think of at high school. Shortly after high school, I joined the Navy for 3 years. So I was a bosun's mate, and I was stationed in Jacksonville, Florida, and then I was deployed for 2 years over in Spain. So that was a ton of fun. Did a lot of cool things, a lot of search and rescue, a lot of shooting off missiles, a lot of visiting different countries. Been to like 12 different countries in the span of I think it was about 9 months. It was a blast, and yeah.
So first and foremost, thanks for your service to our country. So at what point did you know you wanted to go into law enforcement?
So I kind of found out a little bit while I was still in the Navy. There is a part of my job in the Navy as a bosun's mate also involved doing security forces, whether it's you're manning a certain machine gun post, or you're doing gate security, or you're doing actually foot patrols up and down. Just learning in that whole world of anti-terrorism and law enforcement type of structure just really clicked in my brain. I'm like, this is something that I can really get behind and that I'm really passionate about. And after thorough talks with my chief and my NCOs, my leadership, because I was still trying to become a police officer within the Navy, and just that their quotas were too high and that they couldn't fit me in there, they're like, well, maybe you can go be a police officer back home. And so that's exactly what I did, even though not necessarily back home in Green Bay, but I found, I think, my second home, which is here in Fond du Lac.
There you go. Well, we welcome you. And I guess a couple of steps back then, so why did you choose the Navy? And prior to that, did you have any idea, thoughts and dreams about what you wanted to do as an adult?
I really wanted to. I remember when I was a senior in high school, I really wanted to play rugby in college. That was something that I kind of fell in love with my junior year of high school. I really enjoyed playing rugby. But with COVID and kind of everything happening, and I felt that push to serve. I just didn't necessarily know what branch to serve in. My father served in the Air Force for 29 years. And my grandpa before that was also in the Navy for about 5 years. So I kind of had a choice to pick. Do I go with one of those two, or do I join the Marine Corps and be different? And I was like, you know what? The Navy guys seem really cool. I'm going to join the Navy. So that was what kind of led me to joining the Navy. And I did still play rugby, not necessarily for college, but I did play for a little bit on the Jacksonville men's rugby club. So that was always really fun.
And what is it about rugby that you enjoy and compare it to football?
Rugby, everyone in football everyone has a role as well. Not everybody gets to touch the ball though. In rugby, everybody has a role. It's 15 on 15. Anyone can touch the ball. Everybody has the same level of importance on the field in terms of whether it's scoring or making tackles or just breaking through a line. It's just overall, in my opinion, one of the most fun sports I've ever played, and that anyone can pick up and learn how to play within a day or two.
I certainly knew about rugby, but I really hadn't invested much time into it until the Olympics last year. It was my favorite sport to watch, the Summer Olympics last year. It was fantastic. I thought there was a walk-off win. Mm-hmm. Was it the women's? Was it the women's?
I believe it was the women's.
Yeah, scored last second thing, and just very, very scintillating. Very, very scintillating.
I didn't tell Caeden about our annual flag football game that we play with the ships against each other in the fall. That's the Turkey Bowl.
Boy.
But maybe we've got somebody who could bring his rugby skills to that and play.
Yeah,
hopefully.
So then you're done in the Navy, and then how do you end up eventually making your way here to the Fond du Lac Police Department?
So shortly after I got done with the Navy, I applied to Fox Valley Technical College for a degree in criminal justice, and through that sort of hole with the education that comes with that, only made me feel like this is even a better decision. Just learning about whether it's juvenile crime, crime prevention procedures, or just basic communication skills to a law enforcement officer, just really reassured me that this is the best decision that I've made in my life to pursue this kind of a career. And so shortly after, it was about 2 years it took me to finish the degree. Within my third semester, I did apply to Fond du Lac, and then went through the whole hiring process with them. And shortly before I graduated, about 2 months before that, I was offered a job.
Awesome. Congratulations. Now, you said, obviously, growing up in the Green Bay area, you went to school in De Pere. Had you known or heard about Fond du Lac at all? Had you ever been here before?
I had heard about Fond du Lac when I was in high school. I just knew it as the town I drove through to get to Milwaukee or to get to Madison.
Yeah, we are known for that.
That was sort of it. When I really heard about Fond du Lac was when I actually came to Fox Valley Tech through not only just hearing about word of mouth of other officers who have attended school and then gone through the police academy and have gone to Fond du Lac Police Department, but also because of the recruitment videos. And I do remember Cammie and Lieutenant Williams coming in and showing like the quick trip video or just having like the wheel that they'd spin at the job fair. Like, I don't know, for me, that's what really hooked me and wanted me to like I want to see what these people have to say.
I just have to first tell you this, that Caeden's first ride along with us was probably a year away from you graduating, about roughly, right? And he contacted us, I set up the ride along, he came in, and the day that he came in, we were doing a battle shift. We were doing the Price is Right one.
Oh, yes.
You remember that, right?
Yeah.
And I remember going, oh, we have a rider, and we're doing like this. I mean, it was like the music and everything, right?
You were all dressed up, right?
Yes, and so he was sitting there, and I remember looking over at him, and I was like, what does this guy think about this, right? And he had this big smile on his face, and I was like, all right, that's our person.
He's good. What were you thinking on that day?
It was certainly unique. That was about Fond du Lac, about the second ride along I think I've ever done, and compared to the first one I did with Appleton, which was just your normal briefing before shift, and then coming into Fond du Lac, and they had the Price is Right going. I'm like, okay, I kind of like it here. I'm like, I want to see where this goes.
Yeah, and I think he rode with Field Training Officer Alex Malik that time. Yeah, and Alex is such a great officer and so knowledgeable. So I think between the welcoming environment and meeting some of our officers who really have their stuff squared away, I think that was probably, I'm not speaking for Caeden or don't want to, but I would say that's probably the biggest reasons why he ended up choosing to come by us.
So, Caeden, what are you looking forward to as being a police officer here in Fond du Lac?
I'm looking forward to just learning about, just a new job and a new career, making my skills even stronger just by, working the road and stuff like that, but also pursuing other interests and stuff within the police department, such as if there is an interest for like SWAT or drones or anything like that. I'm very open to doing whatever it is that's needed or whatever it is I'm also interested in, and maybe a little bit of both. So, I'm a quick learner, I think. I'm pretty adaptable, and I'm just really excited to get started.
And Cammie, you in the recruitment world, so when you hear him give that testimonial about how you and LT coming up to Fox Valley Tech and doing the little shtick that you guys do was a selling point for him, how does that make you feel?
Well, like we're hopefully doing something right. We're making that connection with those people and really explaining what we're all about and showing what we're all about. And hopefully, I think from just the little conversation we've had here with Caeden, we feel very fortunate that he ended up coming to work for us, because I think he's got a lot to offer. He's the right character and the right skill set that we're looking for. So just really excited that we're, making those connections with those young candidates and drawing in the best people that we can. So.
We are fortunate, although my daughter goes to high school at Schwabenon, and one of my best friends is the JV coach at Bayport. So a little bit of that's a rival schools. The rival schools for De Pere here. That's all right. The Redbirds are very, very good in a lot of sports. So, well, congratulations again, and I'm sure they'll have you back on the show at some point because you did a great job.
Absolutely.
It's By the Badge, KFIZ today.
Morning talk, city's hot, a new day, let's all start. Behind the badge, we'll stand tall through the ups and the fall. Fond du Lac, hear the call. Behind the badge, we're all